Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are conducting life-changing research that solves the problems of today. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Hey, welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. We're going to start in a few minutes, but I want to tell you to hit up our social sites, retweet, share, comment, like, do all of that stuff. It can only help us out and it'll make the show even better. But we're getting ready to give you a lot of good Ole Miss information, and I just thought I would tell you that because the POMcast is starting. Well, it's starting right now. Wait, no, that's a little early. It is starting right about now. Good morning. Welcome to the POMcast. On this game day, we finally made it. We're here. Ole Miss versus Louisville tonight on ESPN. 8 o'clock Eastern kickoff, 7 o'clock Central on Labor Day. Should be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, I'm going to tell you about Travel and Cruise World. Travel and Cruise World, what I'm trying to do here, 1-800-330-7461. What I'm trying to do here is give you a local for your vacations. If you want to go to Central Florida, to the beaches, to the parks, all the attractions that are nearby, these guys can be boots on the ground for you and provide that that you need. Basically, mask rules, whatever you need, they're available. And the best part is the parks are actually who pays them, not you. So you can get the same rates through them as you can on the website, plus have the resource of what's going on around. So 1-800-330-7461, 1-800-330-7461, travelandcruiseworld.com. See Central Florida like a local. Also today, I'd like to welcome Take It to the Grove as a partner on this show. You can see them down below. TakeItToTheGrove.com. They have a lot of stuff. They're a tailgating company. And basically, they can hook it up like a tent package. Will be a tent, 6 chairs, a medium cooler of ice. You can get a TV. You can get your catering taken care of. They're very flexible of what they can do. If you have any questions about tailgating and want to set up some help for Austin Peay, give them a call at 662-701-1177. I'm sure they'll be glad to help you out and will actually make your tailgating experience better. So thank you very much for that and for coming aboard. Thank you. TakeItToTheGrove.com. So I'm pretty excited about them, actually. So if you want to watch the show, you can catch us on Twitter at @TheStephenWillis or at Ole Positively. On Facebook, Facebook.com/POMcast. We're on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Subscribe, hit the bell. You'll not only know that we're streaming, you'll know what we're streaming about. And of course, we're on Twitch, Positively Ole Miss, all one word, all lowercase. If audio is more your thing, and man, our numbers the first 6 days of this month are just off the charts. There's a chance we will catch the monthly record sometime in the next 3 or 4 days. That is how off the chart this month has been. So thank you very much for that. You can catch us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and Pandora. Also, we're on Amazon Music and Audible. I'm really impressed with the Audible thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a wife that does a lot of books on tape, but I'm kind of happy that we're on Audible. So, going into this game, this will be our final preview with the game coming up in about, 9 hours or so. So I'm looking forward to the different aspects of the game. And the first of all is Lane Kiffin, as we all know, will not be there. He tested positive for COVID. He's isolating. Get well soon, coach. But I expect this to affect the team some. I don't expect this to affect the team overtly and cause like the outcome of the game to change or something. It's probably worth 3 or 4 points. Maybe a point or two. Who knows? I mean, the line has gone from 11 to down to a 9.5, as you can see over there. This is the pick center from ESPN. This is what they're predicting through analytics the score to be. Their team rankings has Ole Miss with like a 10.5 point win, and Numbers Fire has it at 4 points. And basically, in this game, what we're looking for, we want to see and make sure that Ole Miss plays clean. This is all under the assumption that Ole Miss plays clean. If Ole Miss does not play clean, everything changes. If Ole Miss is in need of, some help, this is all changing. So the first assumption is that Ole Miss is going to play clean. I expect them offensively to play clean. I don't know what's going on defense, but there's a lot of upperclassmen leadership that has been added to that room with Otis Reese and Chance Campbell and Jake Springer, and those triumvirate organizing the defense. I expect to see them be on their P's and Q's on that side of the ball. Then you have Lakia, you have Momo, you have upperclassmen pretty much everywhere on that defense. And with Malik Cunningham, this is going to be, it's going to be a thing. It just is. It's going to be a thing. And because he's a dual threat and your linebackers are going to have to work. Now, the weight that Lakia lost, I'm interested to see, does that help his range? One of the problems we had last year was with range. With Momo, what is he going to be asked to do? With Chance Campbell, I know he's an effort guy. I know he's a motor guy. What does he look like on that side of the ball? I want to see Jake Springer. He's a former all-conference guy from Navy in the American. I want to see what he looks like lining up against an ACC Power 5 school. I want to see Otis Reese with a spring and a fall to get ready and to prepare the improvement and jumps that he made in that position. He is playing the nickelback, the star position, over Tylen Knight and Tysheem Johnson at the moment. I know that is going to be expected to change. There's going to be times when he plays strong safety. There's going to be times when he plays free safety. But it's changing for the time being. So just keep that in mind. So very excited. Yes, join me on Patreon. Tonight, Reb calls immediately after the game. We're just going to break down the game a little bit, take calls, and let you have your say, and do that for about an hour after the game, and that will not be available to non-subscribers. It'll be just for Patreons. It'll be our little thing. It's not something that we do to show off to other people and have people come in. It's literally a reward for just being you. You can come, you cannot come. We're going to do whatever we do regardless. So I'm excited about that. And also this weekend, last weekend it was just an interview. Now it's a full-fledged show. Biscuits and SEC are going to preview SEC football. I think we got somebody lined up to talk a little Austin Peay. And we got Bill Flowers as our Rebel Rewind guest this week. So we got a lot of stuff coming to you. And I'm pretty excited about that. And I think it's going to be really fantastic, pieces of content for everybody. And a little bit diverse. You got SEC only, you got an Ole Miss former player, and then you get the preview for the game. Although the preview is going to be that Saturday as well. So they'll be released at different times. Biscuits and SEC, we might move that to Friday night, and then we'll do the 6 a.m. of the game preview. That is probably how we'll do that, because I don't want to release them all at the same time. This week has thrown us off a little bit on scheduling, and knowing that is going to help you moving forward. But eventually, Biscuits and SEC is going to be on Friday night. Ole Miss game preview on Saturday morning, and Rebel Rewind on Sunday night. Or Sunday morning, So you have something all 3 days. Sunday will also be the week 2 review show. I really enjoy doing the review show. It's, it just is talking about in 10 minutes or so, just the storylines that are important that everybody's talking about. So you can go to the water cooler or whatever job you're doing, and whatever conversation they're likely having, you have a soundbite or two to go off of, and it can help you out over that. Also, I'd like to ask everybody to evangelize the show. We are a social media only show. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. That's where we live. We don't have any place to send people to. So, comment, share, like, retweet. Do all of those things to the post. It would help us out greatly. And it will make the show even better in the future. We have the Reb calls. Who's to say that we don't bring in somebody from the outside to, jump on Reb calls, provide a little bit of extra analysis, interviews like that. So we're trying to build this up, and we just want enough money to keep the lights on, basically, because we've made our money. We're not trying to get rich doing this. And so our great ads that we have, we don't gouge them. And you can see us. The 2 ad rates are on our Patreon, by the way. It's publicly out there. And it's not a whole bunch of money. So if you want to join on and get some free ads, and like we're in Facebook groups all the time, probably what we post in Facebook groups is 30,000 people attend those groups. And since they autoplay, your logo will be seen by all those people whether they click the video or not. So just remember that. And so I'm looking forward to the defense doing that. Again, I do not think Lane Kiffin's departure will be that much of a game changer. If you look at Louisville and what they're doing, the one way they had turnover problems, they had execution problems. If they play clean, which means no dumb turnovers, no dumb penalties, they just play normal football, it's probably a 7 to 10 point game, honestly. If they turn the ball over and do what they did last year, they're in trouble. Because there's no Tutu Atwell. There's no Javian Hamilton. There's no Des Fitzgerald to bail them out. There are 3 offensive weapons besides Malik Cunningham gone. Now, that the wide receiving room, I'm sure there's guys that are capable. Obviously, it's a Power 5 program. They recruit just like everybody else. But losing those guys and losing somebody as explosive as Tutu Atwell is going to hurt this team. Losing somebody as good as Javian Hamilton, who has a 1,600-yard rushing season on his resume, that is not going to be helpful. So all of that has to be repeated. So there's a little bit of unknown in regards to the Louisville offense. We know pretty much what it'll look like. They do a lot of misdirection stuff. They do all the Appy State stuff from Appalachian State. All of that you think of with Appalachian State football, they do that as well. But there's some unknowns with how this will play out. Are they going to run the ball more and pass? Are they going to pass it more and running? How much are they going to use Malik Cunningham? They want to use him apparently as a drop back passer and let him break down plays and stuff with a scramble drill with his legs. But how much of that is sustainable if, say, you don't get much help on the outside, if the running back isn't what you think? Now, the running back is back next year, or from last year, the end of last year. He's a little bit of a thumper, Cameron Teague said this morning. So, if the defense does well against the run game and makes them one-dimensional, it becomes interesting because it allows players like Sam Williams and Cedric Johnson to hunt the quarterback. It's very much a feeding frenzy. And you got the 2 linebackers patrolling the secondary. They're going to blitz, I think, a decent amount. And one thing that I'm looking forward to is bringing Jake Springer and Otis Reese up to the line with Sam Williams, and you don't know which one is going to come, or both. It's going to play havoc with the offensive line. And if you want to know how much that can cause trouble, watch the UCLA-LSU game to where their offensive line was just shambles all day. All because UCLA would just bring 8 up to the line of scrimmage. They could blitz everybody. They could blitz 4. They could blitz 5. You didn't know who was coming. They'd blow protections, and Max Johnson would be in trouble and throwing the ball behind his back and doing silly freshman things. So understand the importance of that. Now, Malik Cunningham, there's got to be a contained person. If you blitz, you've got to blitz outside in, and everybody has to control their lanes because he can hurt you. He is a legitimate offensive weapon. It's like Jalen Jones said, he's Lamar Jackson light. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not quite there. But he is a B- version of him. So you have to be careful rushing the passer. Make sure you stay in your contained lanes because he'll hurt you. And he's probably going to get a couple of 3rd and long first downs tonight with his legs. That he breaks out and extends plays and it turns into a scramble drill. He's going to get a couple of first downs tonight. It's just going to happen. It's just the way he is. And this defense, built on explosive plays, we've explained this, we realize that most of the time it's going to be 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4. But if you can make it the next play 3rd and 12, you have a chance to be successful. You have a chance at a pick. You have a chance at an explosive. It's all about that. It's about getting them in 3rd and long and allowing yourself to be exotic. Tysheem Johnson tonight makes his debut. If you remember on this show, I've been high on Tysheem Johnson all the way through, basically until, from signing day until now. I've been high on Tysheem Johnson. I've referred to him as having honey badger qualities. Now, I'm not saying he's the honey badger, but I'm saying he has honey badger qualities. The ball finds him. He's got a similar build, and he is a super athlete. There's a chance that before he leaves, he's going to return punts. So I'm interested to see how he can influence the game. Even though he's playing behind Otis on the depth chart, but in a situation where if he's the dime guy that comes in, which there's a chance he would be, the 6th defensive back, I want to see if the ball finds him because teams are going to be tempted to pick on him. He's a freshman, true freshman, playing his first college game. He has a chance to really step up and let himself be known. Pretty excited about that. All right, we are going to take a short break in just a second, and when we come back, we will talk about the potential outcomes of this game and what all of that means going forward. So, with Austin Peay coming up, with Tulane coming up, Tulane looked good this weekend, by the way. Alabama, 4th game of the season. What does all this mean? So anyway, stick around. All right, it is game day. Thank goodness it's here. This has been the longest off season of my 45 years. Absolutely. Maybe it's because of COVID and everything's going on, but this off season has gone on and on and on, but it's finally here. Labor Day night, Ole Miss Louisville, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta on ESPN. If you look at the week 2 games to watch whenever they pop up in just a second, we also have the networks that those games will be on. The Ole Miss game is the SEC Network Plus / ESPN Plus game. This appears to be SEC Network Plus good to go, to where if you have your cable package with SEC Network, you'll be fine. ESPN Plus is just for people that just have ESPN Plus, do not have the SEC Network. You can still see that game. So That is that. If you have your tailgating set up, you want to do for Austin P, I'm expecting a decent crowd. Go to www.takeittothegrove.com and they will help you out. Absolutely set you up. I'm very excited about them coming on board. So we have come to the final prognostication of the game. Now, normally there's not a POMcast that is a pregame show because the games are going to be on Saturday. So this is a special edition, basically, POMcast where you can look at it. So I've said over and over again what I want to see. I want to see the offense come out and play clean. I want to see efficient. I want to see Matt Corral take a step. No disaster games. I want to see the defense take a step. Somewhere in the 70 to 90 range nationally. They're that pretty good. And remember, that number is going to be deceptive because of play volume, because of how fast the offense goes. Those guys are going to be asked to play 80 to 85 snaps a game as opposed to 60 to 65, and those 20 snaps, there's a drop-off. So understand that. So they might start off really well and then fade a little bit on. Because remember, the goal is to get to 22 players, basically, 22 starters on defense. Have a complete two deep, and we're not quite there. We're probably to 14 or 15 at the moment. You'll see the holes tonight. But it's just players we needed to keep developing. We need to keep developing. We need, keep chopping that wood. Keep rowing that boat. Whatever you want to say, whatever coaching analogy you want to do, that's what we need to do on that side of the ball. I want to see Caden Costa. He apparently has a really big leg. I'm excited to see him in his first kickoff. He might be the first person doing action that we noticed during the game. So, doing that. I'm interested to see Jake Springer. What does he look like as a player? I know he's a former all-conference player on the American. I want to see Chance Campbell. What does SEC football look like on him? Now, he's in Maryland playing in the Big Ten. Everybody thinks Big Ten plodding linebackers. He's not really that type of guy. He's an athletic type of guy. So I want to see what he looks like on that side of the ball. I want to see if Lakia Henry, through the weight he's lost and everything in his money year, whether he can do some of the stuff that he's asked to do. I want to see the interior defensive line, the Isaiah Aiton and Jamon Gordon. I want to see those guys perform well. They're probably just going to flash. If you know about JUCOs, it takes 6 to 8 games for them to show up at this level for whatever reason. But I want to see those guys flash. I want to see Tywan Malone flash. I know he was injured coming into the season, but I want to see him flash a little bit. Playing out, he's listed on the depth chart as the backup defensive end behind like Sam Williams or so. But he's a big guy. They refer to him as a dancing bear, and that is not a insult at all. That's just a big guy that is really light on his feet. So defensively, there's stuff that I'm looking for. Offensively, I just want to see him play clean. I'm happy with Dontario Drummond playing in the slot. I'm happy with John Rice Plumlee going full-time on that side of the ball. I want to see players like, hopefully we get out and can see players like J.J. Henry. Is Braylon Brown actually going to play? Or is he injured? Because the staff does not talk about injuries at all, and nor should they. They should take every second to where you find out exactly what's going on about the team you're playing when they come on the field. Because that's what it's about. It's not about whether or not you know what's happening. It's about what advantage they can get. And if they don't know he's injured, then they don't know how that the game plan has changed because of that. We have an injury-prone player that is probably going to be our number one this year, Braylon Sanders. So just beware of that. When it comes to injuries and things like that, it's just better that you don't know. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm going to let you out of here a couple of minutes early today because the hay is in the barn, we can say. But I'm really looking forward to these games. And I see 2 scenarios for this game, and I do not see a scenario where Ole Miss loses this game. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just see two scenarios. I see this playing out two ways. One is Louisville does not play clean offensively and turns the ball over. If that happens, Ole Miss wins in a boat race. It is absolutely a 4-touchdown game. It's like a 42-14. They roll. You got short fields. The offense is clicking. Everybody feels good. That's how I see scenario one going. The second is Louisville's offense plays clean. No turnovers, no dumb penalties. If that happens, it's a 7 to 10 point game. Ole Miss winning at the end of the day, because I think Ole Miss has better players than they do. And when you're missing players like Javian Hamilton, Tutu Atwell, and Des Fitzgerald, it definitely weighs on you a little bit. But I think if Louisville plays clean, it's a 38-28 type game. I think Ole Miss is going 38-42 either direction, either scenario. The difference is, what can Louisville do? We know that Ole Miss's defense isn't great. We understand that. We know that Malik Cunningham is a dual threat quarterback. If they play clean, that's going to be responsible for 2 touchdowns. So if they play clean, 38-28 Ole Miss win. If they do not play clean offensively, 42-14 Ole Miss wins. Those are probably the two scenarios that I am looking at. But I do want to remind everybody, Reb calls tonight. And you can have your say after the game. It's for Patreons only. It's on the our Patreon page now. You can bookmark it, get a reminder, do whatever you need to do to get in. But join us tonight and have a good time, really. But it's game day. Hotty toddy.